The film starts in the future, where humans are genetically engineered and they can't age after they become 25 years old. However, they only have 1 year left after reaching this age, so the world is run by time, and it is the new currency. Everyone has a clock on their hand, and if that clock becomes zero, they will die. They can also transfer their time to buy something. The world is divided into zones, and Will lives with his mother, Rachel, in the poorest zone known as the ghetto. Rachel is 50 years old, but she still looks young. Everyone in the ghetto only has about a day on their clock, so they have to work each day to survive. Will works in a factory with his best friend, Borel, and the food prices increased almost every day in the ghetto. To make things worse, Will's paycheck keeps shrinking day by day, making it hard for him to get by. In the evening, he goes to a bar where Borel tells him that a rich man named Henry is buying everyone drinks. Henry has over a century on his clock, and Will warns him that he will be robbed and killed for this kind of wealth. This fear becomes a reality when a thug named Fortis enters the bar and asks everyone to leave. Everyone leaves, but Will stays because he wants to save Henry. Fortis is going to take Henry's life, so Will sneaks him out of the club and they start running. They eventually hide in an abandoned building, and Fortis and his gang can't find them. This is when Henry tells him that he is 105 years old and he doesn't want to live anymore. He says that rich people have become immortal by stealing time from everyone inside the poor neighborhoods. He is ashamed of what he has become. So in the morning, he transfers all his years to Will and leaves. Will is shocked when he sees his clock after waking up. He spots Henry sitting on the railing of a bridge and he runs after him. But Henry's time runs out and he falls into the canal. Will sees this and he has to run away from the scene. He has a dangerous amount of time on his clock and he goes to meet Borel. Borel has been Will's friend for over a decade, and Will gives him 10 years as a gift. He then decides to take his mom to the richest zone, called Greenwich Time. His mother, Rachel, is returning after paying off her loans, and she only has 90 minutes left on her clock. To make things worse, the bus fare has increased and no one is willing to give her some time. She has to run towards the bus stop where Will is waiting for her. He sees Rachel running towards him, and he too starts running. He knows something is wrong, but when he grabs her, she's already dead because her time has run out. While Will is mourning his mother, a timekeeper named Raymond is investigating Henry's death. He thinks someone stole Henry's time, and he's looking for Will. Will, on the other hand, leaves the ghetto on a transport service that takes him straight to Greenwich. He is angry at the rich people for his mother's death, and he wants revenge. He finds a hotel in Greenwich and spends almost a year just for a room and some lunch. He's doing everything way too quickly, and a girl named Sylvia has noticed him. In the evening, Will goes to the casino to win some more time. He gets into a high-stakes poker game, and after risking all the time on his hand, he wins 1,100 years from an extremely rich man named Weiss. Weiss is the owner of a banking corporation that provides loans to citizens. He is impressed by Will's poker skills. During the game, Weiss's daughter, Sylvia, gets there and she even invites Will to a party at their house. Back in the ghetto, the timekeepers find out Will's identity and his current location. So while the timekeepers are coming to catch him, Will decides to use the hundreds of years he just won. He buys a sports car for 59 years and drives to the party at Weiss's mansion and immediately starts talking to Sylvia. Sylvia is fed up with her monotonous life, and she thinks Will can give her some kind of adventure. Will takes her for a swim in the ocean that's right next to the mansion. After a romantic swim, he goes back to play some more poker with Weiss, when all of a sudden, the timekeepers get there. They take Will into custody, and Raymond orders Will's arrest. He also takes away all his time, leaving him only a couple of hours. He claims he knew Will's dad, who died 20 years ago, trying to steal time from the rich people and giving it away to the poor. Will is out of options at this point, so he kidnaps Sylvia to get out of the mansion. A high-speed car chase begins, and Will manages to get away from Raymond, who gets into an accident. Sylvia is extremely scared, and she wants to go back, and she won't even share any of her time with Will. So Will starts driving back to the ghetto where he gets into a trap set up by Fortis. The gang steals all of Sylvia's time, but leaves the couple alive. They both have only 30 minutes each, so they start running towards the ghetto. Pretty soon, the timekeepers get to the location of their broken down car. Raymond figures out where the couple is going, so he goes after them as well. In the ghetto, Will is shocked to find out that his friend Borel died after drinking way too much. His wife blames Will for giving away so much time to her husband. At this point, Will and Sylvia have only a few minutes left, so they run to a pawn shop and sell Sylvia's diamond earrings for some time. They get a couple of days, and Will calls Weiss and asks him to send 1,000 years to a charity by tomorrow or he will never see Sylvia again. After this, Will takes Sylvia to his apartment. She is shocked by the conditions in the ghetto, but for Will, it's all normal. They start talking to each other and realize that they're almost the same age. Will is 28 while Sylvia is 27, and they hate how rich take up all the time available in the world. Will also shows Sylvia how one can arm wrestle for time. The next day, Sylvia finds out that Weiss never sent the money to the charity. Will wants to let her go back, so he takes her to a payphone and she calls her father. Weiss tells her that the timekeepers know their location, and just then, Sylvia spots Raymond, who's about to shoot Will. She shoots the timekeeper in the bulletproof vest. Will takes Raymond's gun and decides to run away in the cop car, but he still gives Raymond some time so that he can survive in the ghetto. The duo then go to a rich zone and steal some time from a woman who's going shopping. Will offers to drive Sylvia to her house, but she says that she wants to help him in his quest for revenge. Meanwhile, Raymond tells Weiss that Sylvia is now a fugitive and she will be arrested. A couple of days later, Sylvia and Will decide to rob one of Weiss's banks. They take out all the time capsules and divide the time among the poor people of the ghetto. They even give 1,000 years to the guy who runs the charity. They have become bandits, and Raymond is looking for them. He eventually finds them in a motel, and Will has to flee from the place with Sylvia. Raymond chases them on foot and even shoots at them, but Will knows the ghetto too well, and he manages to escape by bribing a bus driver. Later on, the couple rents an entire hotel in an affluent neighborhood, but they are spotted by a man. This man then gives up their location to Fortis, who is still angry at Will. So while Will and Sylvia are having a quiet evening, they are assaulted by Fortis and his gang. Fortis wants all the time that Will has, and he wants to fight for it. However, Will uses his father's technique and wins all the time back from Fortis. He also shoots all the other gang members and takes down the gang. The piling dead bodies are making Raymond and his timekeepers go crazy, and Raymond now wants to take out Will at any cost. On the other hand, Will realizes that no matter how much time he gives to the poor, the cost of living still keeps on increasing. The only way to make a change is to give away 1,000,000 years, and Sylvia's father has a time capsule with 1,000,000 years. So the couple confronts Weiss outside his central bank. Will manages to get behind him and takes him hostage. Weiss is a coward, and he takes him to his vault. Sylvia tells Will the password to the vault, and after opening it, they find a time capsule that has more than 1,000,000 years stored on it. Weiss warns them that no matter how much time they give away, the rich will always stay rich. He's a psychopath who believes that some people will have to die to make superior people immortal, so Will locks him in his office and leaves the bank. The alarms warn the timekeepers of the robbery, and Raymond is searching for Will and Sylvia. He's running out of time, and he's about to get more when all of a sudden, he spots the couple. He goes after them and they are about to cross a bridge. The timekeepers start shooting at the car, but it is bulletproof and go straight through the barricade. They are driving towards the ghetto and Raymond is after them. He catches up to them when they reach the ghetto and slams his car into theirs. Will and Sylvia are injured, but they still give the time capsule to the charity and start running away from Raymond, who is chasing them in the middle of nowhere. He finally catches them and decides to take them into custody, but that's when he finds out that he's out of time. Raymond dies in front of the couple, who are both running out of time as well. The only time available is in Raymond's car that's parked at a distance. So Will runs to the car and recharges himself and then runs back to Sylvia, who only has a few seconds left. However, Will manages to save her just in time. Their actions are showing results, and the stolen years are now spreading throughout different zones. For the first time, the poor people are no longer living on a single day. Even the timekeepers know that there's no way to stop this wave, and they are giving up. Will, on the other hand, knows that there are other time capsules with even more years stored on them, so the couple agrees to target other banks as well. The film ends with Will and Sylvia standing outside a much bigger bank getting ready to rob it.